Good afternoon and welcome to the Rotary Club of Fort Worth. Today is Friday, April 5th. It's actually my mom's birthday. So, yeah, exactly. Kind of fond of her. Glad to have everyone here today. We're in a little bit smaller room. We got a big program today, a lot to get through. But let's start it off first with Russell Jacobson, Financial Planning Advisor, Astoria Strategic Wealth, with our invocation immediately followed by Henry Borbola, welcome back to playing, Vice President of Sierra Bank with our national anthem. Please rise with me.
We are thankful for this day that you have given us, for its blessings, its opportunities, and its challenges. May we appreciate and use each day that comes to us. We pray for strength and guidance for each day as it comes, for each day's duties and problems. May we be challenged to give our best, and may we be assured of your presence with us. Amen.
Thank you both, gentlemen. All right. Bruce Frankel, CEO, President, DRC Solutions. Why don't you come up here and give a welcome to our guests. Where you at, Bruce?
Good afternoon, Rotarians. We have so many guests this evening. Instead of me being up here mangling everybody's name, if you're a guest, would you please rise so that we could welcome you?
All guests rise.
All guests rise. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you, Bruce. All right. So, let's see here. Ann Sheets, where you at, Ann? Looks like they changed the order on me for this one. I'd like to welcome Ann Sheets, retired CEO of Campfire First Texas, for our newscast. Where's Ann? There she is.
Some days it's good to be before the four-way test. After a recent rash of airplane incidents, an aircraft manufacturer is testing a rubber-like material that can be painted on planes that will essentially make them bounce should there be anything that would normally cause a crash. It's a little like skipping rocks on water. The testing is being done by Boeing, Boeing, Boeing. Last week, Joe Biden held a fundraiser with former Presidents Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, netting over $26 million for his campaign. After the event, the main characters gathered to celebrate and were joined by Clinton's Vice President, Al Gore. Clinton got out his saxophone to play a little jazz, and Gore accompanied him on the bongos, something they secretly did when stressed back in the day. Among other topics, the presidents discussed various internet-targeted marketing and the methods they employ. The next morning, President Biden logged onto YouTube, as he normally does, and to his surprise, his suggestion screen was swamped with jazz saxophone videos. He asked Jill, "How does YouTube know to show me these things?" She thought for a minute and said, "Must be the algorithm." Former President Trump has not fared so well with his fundraising, though. In fact, last week he embarked on selling special edition Bibles. Unfortunately, all the Bibles he sold have been recalled. It seems that in addition to the Constitution and the Pledge of Allegiance, he also included some highly confidential nuclear codes. And in sports, the world champion Texas Rangers have started off this year's baseball season with multiple wins, unveiling the world championship and getting their diamond-encrusted rings that have 245 blue sapphires, diamonds, and rubies. You too can own a Superfan Championship ring for a mere $10,950. What a way to start the season. But I do have a question to ponder about baseball in general. Why do we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" when we're already there? And speaking of things to ponder, people are clamoring to see the results of a very long study to answer the age-old question, why did the chicken cross the road? While they came to no definitive answer, they interviewed thousands of people. For example, Barack Obama's answer was, "Let me be perfectly clear. If the chickens like their eggs, they can keep their eggs. No chicken will be required to cross the road to surrender her eggs." It was a while back. Dr. Seuss, in typical fashion, answered, "Did the chicken cross the road? Did she cross it with a toad? Yes, the chicken crossed the road, but why she crossed, I've not been told." Even Rotary founder Paul Harris said, "There's no need to ask why. If the chicken crossed the road and lived by the four-way test, that's good enough for me." But my favorite response was from Bill Clinton, who said, "I did not cross the road with that chicken." The women's Final Four games are tonight and the men's are tomorrow, but nothing can top the excitement of the Iowa women's game against reigning national champion LSU, when Caitlin Clark scored a record-setting 41 points, including 9 three-pointers. And one final thing about the games, according to Axios, and this is no joke, tickets for the women's Final Four are so popular that they cost 47% more than the tickets for the men's game. Title IX would be proud. The weather this weekend should be partly cloudy with a chance of thunderstorms and high in the 70s. And finally, get your eclipse glasses out because the solar eclipse is coming on Monday. And as much as I'd like to make a joke about it, it's a pretty shady subject. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Ann Sheets. As always, you knocked it out of the park. Okay, so we didn't have a slide for the four-way test. That's what threw me off. But to all of our guests here, Rotarians are guided by a set of principles we call the four-way test. It's been around a long time. We use that as a filter for everything we think, say, or do. And ideally, if it doesn't meet the criteria, well, we try not to think, say, or do those things. So all the Rotarians, oh, hey, we got it. It's back up. If you would, please repeat along with me. Number 1, is it the truth? Number 2, is it fair to all concerned? Number 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And number 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. All right, and thank you, Tom, for making that happen. Okay, announcements. Past President Courtney Lewis, EVP and Senior Managing Director of Cadence Bank. Bring us an announcement. Come on up here.
All right, so golfers and fun seekers alike, mark your calendars for May 14th. It's time for our Crazy Pants Open. So this isn't just any golf tournament. It's a day where style meets sport in the most surprising ways. So we want all teams to sign up and bring their A game. Even if you're not a golfer, we have something for you. We have a fellowship and fun ticket for you to come out and join us as well. We have plenty of sponsors this year that all wanted to jump into the fray, but we have a few left. So if you would like to sponsor, please see James Emmons. He's the chair of our golf committee. We also have room for more committee members if you would like to join in the planning. See me after the meeting, and hope to see you all there May 14th. Thank you.
Thank you, Past President Courtney. Next up, VP, Vice President Kathy Sheffield, Chief Advancement Officer of Lena Pope. Madam?
Thank you. I am here today as a member of the Rotary Strategic Planning Committee, and I'm excited to share with you some of the work that we have done so far. As you know, you received a survey, and I'm thankful for everyone in the room who has taken that survey. Proud to report that we received a 25% submission rate, or response rate, so we're very, very grateful for that, and thank you to everyone who took that test. Your feedback is very important to us as we're trying to identify what we're doing correctly and what we want to improve on, what are our opportunities, so we're working on that. But now we're moving on to phase 2 of our committee's work. And we're going to be doing some one-on-one phone interviews. We've randomized our membership, and we've selected certain individuals, randomly, obviously, to hear from. You will receive a very short 5-minute phone call, and some individuals on the committee might actually reach out to you beforehand with an email saying, hey, I'm going to call you, and I would like to interview you. We promise that the questions are only going to take 5 minutes for you to respond. Your anonymous responses will be combined with all of the other responses that we get from individuals, and that'll help shape our collective strategy. So thank you so much for participating in these in the future, and I know that the information we are gathering is going to help us improve the club as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kathy. All right, now for some serious business. Have some club business to discuss. Our guests, just please bear with us on this. This is normal stuff we have to go through every now and then. Number 1, bylaw changes. So we have some things that every now and then we have to tweak our bylaws. And we are going to, the board of directors, finance committee's worked on it, board of directors has worked on it. And we are bringing a bylaw change request to you. It will come to you in the form of a vote for all membership in about 2 weeks-ish. I believe it's 2 weeks. Is that right, Tom? That's right. All right, 2 weeks. Thank you. So we need your participation. We need your attention onto these matters, and we need your understanding of the climate that we were in. So first off, membership dues changes. The first thing is a due date change. I don't want to get too deep into the minutia, but as a Rotary club, we report up to the Rotary District and to Rotary International. Both of those organizations above us on July 1 take a snapshot of our membership. Whatever that number is, that is why I agree. Whatever that number is, that's what is due to them that we have to pay those two organizations. The problem that we've had in the past is when the last date of dues is June 30th or December 31st, if we have someone who's delinquent on their dues, when that snapshot comes, we have to pay it. Let's say someone wants to resign from the club, they don't tell us till after that date, we're paying for someone who is not on our rolls. To fix that problem, we are moving forward the due dates for your membership dues within the club. The period still remains the same that you're paying for. Your spring dues, that covers January through June. Your fall dues cover July through December. But we're moving the due date forward 1 month. You will receive a statement at the 1st of May this year, okay? That will be due no later than May 31st at 5 p.m., okay? Are y'all with me on the why? Is so that we can actually get all the back office stuff handled so that we're accurately reporting come July 1st. In the past, and this is in the interest of being better stewards of your money, of the dues monies that you pay, because in the past, we have paid literally, when it's cumulative up, it's thousands of dollars that we're paying for people that are no longer in our club. So we're trying to resolve that, moving it forward a month. Again, the period that you're paying for is still the same. Now, next one. Next slide. Thank you. Late fees. We've gotten really good this last time around about getting our dues in. However, not to sound too draconian, we do need people to pay their dues on time within the period. We're all Rotarians, we're all grown-ups. We have responsibilities in the corporate world, and we have responsibilities with our families. We also have responsibility here. If you are want to be a good Rotarian member, you need to pay your dues when they're due. We are instating a late fee. So again, May 1st, you'll get your statement. It's due by the end of the month. When it comes in, pay your statement. If it doesn't make it in by the end of the month, it's a $50 late fee. Per our bylaws, 2 weeks later, 15 days to be exact, we are going to remove you from the rolls. It'll be an automatic termination, and if you want to be reinstated, there'll be a $100 reinstatement fee on top of the $50 late fee and your dues. I know that sounds harsh for some people, but for those that pay their dues on time, within the period that it's due, it doesn't affect you. These things, again, are to ensure that we have accurate roll count at the time we're reporting to district and to Rotary International. Everyone clear on that? And again, this will be for vote. The whole membership will get to vote on this. We've talked about the dates on that, so move forward. Unfortunately, we have a dues increase. It's not a huge one, but we haven't had a dues increase in over 3 years. In the last 3 years, inflation has taken a bite out of everyone, to include, we have Rotary International and district fees increased, and the cost of our meals has gone up. Not huge, but it is cumulative. Over the past several years, it has gone up, and the club has been able to absorb those costs. We're no longer in a position to absorb the increases, and we have to pass some of that on to membership. It's going to go up $20 per 6 months, $40 per year, and that, of course, is meal plan is part of that and everything else. So questions about that? No? Okay, moving on. Credit card payment processing fees. In this bylaw change, we are going to request, again, all of this be up for vote. This last year, we paid $13,500 in credit card fees for everyone using their credit cards at lunch and to pay their dues, et cetera, et cetera. We're no longer going to be able to do that as a club. That money is better spent in programming, the stuff that we do in our community, all the engagement work, et cetera. We're going to do pass-through on the credit card fees. So if you choose to, you can still use a check. For your dues, you can use a check, or you can use the bank pay at your own bank. You know, the automated bill pay through your own bank. That doesn't cost anything. But if you use a credit card, it's going to be a pass-through fee to you for lunches and for your dues. Okay, what else? Keep going. The last one? Oh, yeah, the check payment. So last time around, I asked everyone, hey, please, if you can, pay by check. And you know what? We got some great response on that, and that was huge on reducing that amount of check processing fees that we've had to pay. There's no sense in us as a club, again, being stewards of your money, good stewards of your money, ideally, for the club to be spending your monies on processing fees when we can be putting that money to use on, I don't know, the bicycles for kids at Christmas, or the veteran stuff, or whatever other community engagement stuff that we do. Next up. Is that it? That's the end of those announcements. I will be available after lunch for discussion. Tom, are you going to be around too? We can discuss after lunch. We got a lot to go through in the program. Want to keep us on time. We'll be around if anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns. We'll talk about this briefly again in the coming weeks, but 2 weeks from now, there will be a bylaw change vote. I ask that you please say yes to that so that we can keep us in good standing as far as your monies. Thank you. All right. Well, that was a lot. We now have a second reading and a vote for two new member introductions. So second reading and vote. Secretary Maddie Compton, retired federal prosecutor. Come on up, ma'am.
Good afternoon. We have one second reading today. The proposed member is Susan Little. Her title is Senior Corporate Relations Manager for the American Cancer Society. Her classification is not-for-profit, and her proposer is Kathy Neese Brown. I move her election subject to attending a new member Rotary information session.
I have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. Second over here. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. She is hereby a member. Welcome to the club. Is that the only one? All right. Randall Fluke, we have a new member introduction. Bring your guest up, or your member up here. Oh my gosh.
Well, it's my distinct honor and privilege to introduce to you as a new member, Dr. Angelica Ramsey, Superintendent since September 2022 of the Fort Worth ISD. Many of you will recall that about a year ago, she spoke to this club, and I was very impressed. As a taxpayer, as a parent, I was very impressed. As a former school board president and of the Sherman ISD, I was impressed. Then as a Rotarian, as I learned of her history with the Midland Rotary Club and her activities there, I was impressed, and so I started a stalking campaign to get her into our club. Dr. Ramsey comes to us after a successful tenure as superintendent of the Midland ISD. Part of that, she was superintendent of the Pleasant Valley School District in California, and notably, her career began as a classroom teacher. She started that at classroom teacher at the Socorro ISD in El Paso, Texas. She went on to become an assistant principal and then a principal. And then she moved to California and became chief academic officer of the Santa Clara County Office of Education. She received her bachelor's from the University of the Pacific, her master's from the University of Texas, El Paso, and her doctorate in educational leadership from Liberty University. She now serves in leadership roles in numerous organizations, and in the community she's involved. She serves on the board of the North Texas Leaders and Executives Advocating Diversity. She's involved with Junior Achievement and Wendy Shaw. She is a member of the North Texas Commission Longhorn Council of the Boy Scouts of America. She's an Army veteran. Through the Army, she met her husband, Darton, who's also an Army veteran, Hua. And it's my pleasure to introduce her to you all. She'll be leaving early. Her father-in-law passed recently, so she'll be making her introductions and or giving her comments and then leaving. She brings to us a lot of energy, and we look forward to the great things that you're going to do here. Thank you. Welcome to our club.
I have very little to say, even though you should not give a superintendent a microphone. It's dangerous. But, you know, I've lived my life in service. That's something I learned from my parents. And after getting out of the Army, I didn't know what to do with myself. And so I thought, what's the ultimate thing you can do to give back? And that's going into education and teaching. And so it's really, really important to be in a space with like-minded people that care about others and are wanting and willing to serve. So it's just a blessing to me. And I thank everyone, especially my sponsor, who didn't stalk me. He did not stalk me. The judge did not stalk me. It was more of like a fan right? Like, I'll take it that way, because I have fans and I have anti-fans. But just a little bit about me personally, and I unfortunately, my father-in-law passed away yesterday, and so we have to make our way to Georgia soon, but I've always cared about kids and thought of myself as like a teacher first, and I like things that give children joy, and so I love Disney. So my little interesting fact is I've somehow made it around the world, and I have been to every Disney park around the world. Thank you all.
All right, thank you both. All right, next up, Mike Herman. Where's Mike Herman? Bring a guest. Are your new member? Do we have? Are they here? All right, here he comes. Bring it.
Hello, my gentleman I'm introducing is not new to Rotary. He was in the Oklahoma City Club, or one of them in the Oklahoma City area, for many years, but someone who has relocated to Fort Worth. Jim and I have known each other since 1978 when he came to TCU. We attended toga parties together and drank Kool-Aid. He came to TCU in 1978, got a degree in advertising, and then went back to, actually grew up in St. Louis, but then he went to Oklahoma City and spent 11 years in the radio business selling advertising. And then he kept coming to Fort Worth and kept coming to Fort Worth, and he's turned into a financial advisor back in 1995, and in the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, has relocated here, bought a place, and this is now becoming home. And he's joining our club. With that.
I found a couple of toga party pics of Mike, but then I thought, if I get that started, he's going to dig up South Padre spring break pics of me. So I'm just going to just let the whole thing go. Not really. No, I'm glad to be here. I started doing some makeups at this club last summer after I bought a townhouse here. And Mike said, how often are you here? I said, at least 2/3 of the time. And he goes, why don't you just join our club? I said, sounds good. So I still do a lot of work in Oklahoma City. I have an office building there, but I'm down here a lot more often, and it's an easy 3-hour drive. And so yeah, I bought a townhouse right outside of downtown here. And in 1995, I got into I wanted something less crazy than the advertising business, so I went to Wall Street. And I was with A.G. Edwards for 13 years and then switched over to LPL Financial in 2007. Been with them for 15 years, so 29 years altogether. No plans of retiring anytime soon, but I really enjoy the business. But the nice thing about it now is, as long as I have my laptop and my business cell phone with me, I can do work in Oklahoma City, here. I can be in the middle of the Caribbean. Clients don't care. As long as you're taking care of their portfolio, they're good. I have 2 daughters, 27 and 30, which means I started late. And they're in Oklahoma City. I have dinner with them about once or twice a month. And I'm looking forward to being part of the club and participating. Thank you.
Great job. Welcome aboard, new members, and all our other members. Bring people. Let's get more members. All right. So, oh, you did bring one, Dick. All right, very good. Next up, where's Howard Alschuler? Howard, you in here? Well, come up here. All right. We are swapping out a red badge for a blue badge. You guys who just got your red badges, I see a few of you. You know how to change them out. You've been to the orientation. There you go, sir. Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations. All right. I think we maybe get to the event. The chairperson of the day, Mike Herman, COO, Whitley Penn. Come on up, introduce our guest, and take it away.
Take it away. You can go enjoy lunch.
I'm going
Thank
to.
you.
Let me take
President
these.
Kirk. I'm honored to give this introduction as a 34-year Colonial member and someone who's known Mike Toth since he arrived in Fort Worth in 2008. Michael Toth is originally from Canada and still has family there. In the early mid-1990s, he played on Shorter University's Fighting Hawks golf team. Anybody know where Shorter University is? That could be a trivia question later. There you go, one, okay. I'll look that up. He played in every tournament for 4 years and is proud of that. That's big when you're on a golf team. He has been in the golf industry for his entire career. From 1995 to 1999, he worked for the American Junior Golf Association. And then from 1999 to 2002, he spent several years as Director of Amateur Competitions for Golf Canada. He then spent years working for IMG in their Singapore office as Associate Director of International Operations, managing events that use IMG management for their operations. For those that don't know, IMG is a global firm that works with sports organizations and rights holders to maximize their intrinsic brand value. Mike started with Colonial Country Club in 2008 as Director of Sales for the PGA Tour golf tournament played at Colonial Country Club. Since 2012, he has been the tournament director for the tournament now called the Charles Schwab Challenge. In 2009, he was a 40 under 40 honoree in Fort Worth. He still plays hockey at age 52. He's visited all 10 Canadian provinces, played golf in 40 states, and attended 2 Olympics, 2 Ryder Cup tournaments, and countless other golf tournaments. As an interesting fact, the first time he played a round of golf at Colonial, he wound up in 26 bunkers. So Mike and his wife Holly live in Mansfield with their 2 kids, Remy, who's 13, and son Gordy, who's 10, who both play hockey. He's actually a former, I learned today, former Rotarian. Hope we maybe get him back. And so with that, so I don't become the speaker for the day in the program, I welcome Mike Toth.
Okay, I got my clicker here. It's so amazing to be back. See a lot of familiar faces. Sean and I were visiting. The last time I was able to be in front of you was, I think, 2020 during our COVID year, which we don't really want to reflect on too much, but that was a hard year, but I'm back, and it's good to see, like I said, a bunch of familiar faces. Kirk's going to keep me on schedule. I got great Tom Law going to PowerPoint me through this thing. So one of the trivia questions was going to be who's our title sponsor. Well, I'll come up with a new one here in a second. Jordan Spieth there at 16. Emiliano Grillo, second champion from Argentina, good young man. Just made his hotel reservation, so we know he's going to come back. Ford Bronco in the background. 1975 Corvette Stingray is going to be the car this year. Yeah, so very cool. All right, so I see Julie Butner, a Colonial member. Mike Herman, obviously a Colonial member. Frank Cordero, our GM. You guys I'm pulling you out of these 3 trivia questions. Any other Colonial members? Okay, you're out too. How many times raise your hand, how many times did the great Ben Hogan win our golf tournament? Fort Worth's own Ben Hogan. Raise your hands. Okay. He says 4. This gentleman says 0. Oh, no. Well, I got 4. I have 0. 3. 4 is closer. Do I hear? Who says 5? Okay, 5 in the back. Mr. Herman, if you don't mind. An Emiliano Grillo signed yardage book from Colonial. All right, I thought that was easy, but I'm familiar with it. So we started in 1946. We're the longest running event on the PGA Tour at the same venue. I think that's a testament to our city. That's a testament to our corporate community. It's a testament to our members. We've etched ourselves in the place of history. This will be the blank year that we have conducted Colonial. What year number is this? We've celebrated our 75th anniversary. This year will be our, raise of hands, anybody got hands?
76.
Close? 78, yes. 78 years, same venue. All right, this is the last one, and this is probably the most exciting. On June 1, we decided to embark on an amazing transformation, restoration at Colonial. We have redefined everything below the soil, above the soil. We've brought greens down. We did 150 acres of sod, about 43 miles of pipe and tubing under the greens. Does anybody in the room know who our architect is that redesigned and redeveloped and has been on the ground with us a lot during our restoration and renovation? Gil Hance, that's right. Excellent. Very nice. There he is right there. Gil's been amazing to work with. No joke. We started June 1. Rich McIntosh, our director of agronomy, and Gil were joined at the hip. Golf course right now looks amazing. Greens are perfect. People always ask me, are we going to have a golf tournament this year? And I say, yeah, we're going to have a golf tournament this year. So we're poised and ready. There's what it looks like. I want to rest assured that it is the same old beautiful tree-lined Colonial that we're all familiar with. We just brought it up to modernization. New grass, new turf, new base materials, new irrigation, new drainage. All of that ugly concrete between 16, 17, 18, that's all gone. We brought 13 back, 8 looks amazing. When you come to the golf tournament this year, you're gonna be able to see front 9, back 9 from most locations. A lot of trees came down that needed to come down. But we're really happy, we're really proud of the work, and I know you guys here in the room when you come see us in May.
During the 2024 Charles Schwab Challenge, be the first to experience the excitement of the highly anticipated Gil Hance restoration of legendary Colonial. Reintroducing the new Colonial. History is what's happening, so take a front row seat and watch elite PGA Tour players challenge the new Colonial in May. Inspired by the glory and greatness of the 1941 U.S. Open at Colonial, the most sought-after golf course designers in America, Gil Hance and Jim Wagner, are meticulously restoring this iconic masterpiece in the spirit of the golden era of golf when Colonial and other great courses were born. When it comes to high-profile golf course restorations, there are no bigger names than Gil Hance and Jim Wagner. Their body of work includes the most celebrated venues in golf, all of which have hosted major championships: Los Angeles Country Club, Southern Hills, the Country Club, Winged Foot, Oakmont, Marion, Baltusrol, and the Olympic Club, just to name a few. Live history as it happens, step back in time, and relive the excitement of the 1941 U.S. Open at Colonial as a new and historic era is ushered in at the 78th Annual Charles Schwab Challenge.
Okay, this is the fun part. And I know everybody has their phone. I know they all have it on silent. I know you do Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. Go ahead and like us. Find us. My 13-year-old and my 10-year-old, they're all into their YouTube and all this and all that, and I'm not so much into it, but I know it's important, and a lot of information is there, a lot of great photos are there. We're gonna post some wonderful content beginning May 1, so again, when you're having your coffee in the morning, just go ahead and like us and follow us. Some fun facts: Charles Schwab is our title sponsor. They will be our title sponsor through 2027. I suspect heading out of 2025 into 2026, we'll begin to renegotiate. What I love about the position we're in is, as most of you know, their global headquarters moved from San Francisco to Westlake up on Alliance property, so that's huge. Derek, who Frank and I deal with on a day-to-day basis, both of his sons go to TCU. and they love it at TCU. And so I think that that helps us. Most importantly, Mr. Schwab, Chuck, loves golf, plays in our Pro-Am, and thinks that the alignment to North Texas, Fort Worth, Colonial aligns very well with their brand and their clients. That's the most important thing for all of us in this room, because I think from a perspective of the 13th largest city in the country, from a corporate perspective, from a philanthropic perspective, you support TCU, you support the Stock Show and Rodeo. You might not know what's going on out there, mutton busting or roping or whatever, but you go and you support at Dickey's and you come to Colonial. Those are the three things I think that are most important in our community. We are broadcast in 225 countries around the world on CBS and Golf Channel. I'm very confident in saying there's no other sporting event in the city of Fort Worth that broadcasts in 225 countries, 17 hours of live coverage. If somebody wants to disagree with me, come on up. I'm happy to have that debate, but I think we're in a good spot showcasing our city. Our players, we have the best PGA Tour players, 132 of them. The benefit of being in DFW and Fort Worth, Scotty Scheffler, if you know that name, Jordan Spieth, if you know that name, Tom Hoagie, who went to TCU, lives out at Mira Vista. We have a good stable of PGA Tour players that love coming to Fort Worth, live in DFW, and then they go out and they tell their other counterparts. So our field will be very, very strong. We have 350 corporate partners and counting. And then at the end, I'm going to make sure that you guys remember two things at the very end. Schedule of events, May 19th through 26th. We start with the Fort Worth Junior Invitational. They play the Horrible Horseshoe. RJ Holland over at the first tee. We have 24 kids that'll come out and play the golf course. We have our Hogan Draw Party that night. Then we have the Pro-Am on Monday. The Ben Hogan Award is a black tie formal event at Colonial, and it recognizes 3 of the top male amateurs in the country. We will hand over the Hogan Award that evening, and then that player gets an exemption into next year's PGA Tour event. Very exciting. Ludwig Aberg is back-to-back Hogan Award. He will play in our field, amazing young man. I'm gonna start with this one first. This is the Bedpan Open at Cook Children's Hospital. We take players over the Bedpan Open at Cook's, and here's what we do. We decorate the atrium. So each department at the hospital submits a design, and then kids come down and putt with our plaid jackets and then PGA Tour players. There is never a dry eye in that house when you see the likes of J.J. Henry or Jordan Spieth or Dustin Johnson putting with kids that can't leave the hospital, and in some cases can't leave their room, and we send guys up to say hi and recognize what they're going through. We started Executive Women's Day with the PGA Tour a number of years ago. Member Julie Butner, Julie, Rotary member, Julie's managing our Executive Women's Day, an incredible job, yep. Victor, Julie, you guys need to connect because Victor's got some interest in getting a part of Executive Women's Day. Wednesday, Lockheed Martin. This is incredible. Lockheed Martin comes in and they stuff 500 packages and they get sent over to the men and women of the military. Baseballs, bandanas, Oreo cookies, Rotary stickers, whatever it might be. We send them over. And then we get letters from men and women who are in Afghanistan, Iraq, overseas. And when they get a box of something homegrown from America, from the country, it really pumps their spirits up. So thank you, Lockheed Martin. And then we do a home donation ceremony where through the Military Warriors Support Foundation in San Antonio, they procure homes, we raise the dollars, and then we hand keys to men and women of the military. And this year will be our 26th and 27th home. And again, not a dry eye in the house when you hand over keys to men and women who have served. They have physical and invisible injuries. And the program's really come a long way because when we started this journey with the Military Warrior Support Foundation, we just simply handed keys over, and what was happening was the success rate of those families keeping those homes was not really high because of a lot of financial burden, mental, physical, invisible injury. So there's a whole mentorship now, and we're proud to be a part of that, and we love that, and that's a fabric of our event. Thursday through Sunday, we have a Patriots Outpost, again, where we give tickets to men and women of the military over Memorial Day weekend, and then we have a flyover on Sunday. We actually stop competition, stop play, in the middle of the round on Sunday on CBS, and we have a helicopter fly over top of us. It's pretty cool. All right, so this is some of the fun things we get to do. We get to hand over $1.6 million to our winner, Emiliano Grillo. That's Rick Worster with Charles Schwab Corporation. We do that on the 18th green. Jim Whitten, he's our chairman. There's another Jim Whitten in the room. He is not our chairman, but he's a good guy too. That's Jim throwing a little fastball out there, World Series champion, Texas Rangers. We're going to have the World Series trophy on property at Colonial Friday and Saturday, so we're pumped up about that, yeah. When Charles Schwab became our title sponsor, they wanted to do something a little different. And what they wanted to do, and it's been a huge success, is give each winner a car. So when we first started, it was a Dodge Challenger that went to Kevin Naw. Kevin then handed it to his caddy, because like every probably tour player and caddy that first year, like, hey, when you win, I get the car, right? Like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll give you the car. Well, somebody had to win, and then somebody had to hand it to her caddy, his caddy, and it was Kevin Naw. Since then, there has been no player-caddy transaction of the car. The players have kept it. 1975 Corvette Stingray this year, so if you're a fan of the Corvette, 1975 will be the year. It sort of centers around when Charles Schwab became the company that it is today in 1975. So if you are YouTubing around, look for a video called Mayday, and it's pretty incredible. Dallas Stars, Texas Rangers, we partner with a lot of the other sports franchises here in the Metroplex. We are a very sophisticated sports market, so we have to differentiate ourselves. The golf course renovation, the car, a number of military support areas, but we always like to partner, and that's Tom Hoagie, Fort Worth resident, wore his Dallas Stars jersey during the Wednesday Pro-Am. And then Ryan Palmer and his son, Mason, a number of years ago, dropped the puck. And then we gave players jerseys last year. Probably we'll do Rangers jerseys this year, given that they're the World Series champions. Yep. Food Truck Fairway, Jim Whitten, chairman, a number of years ago said, I want to do food trucks. We all agreed it was a good idea. We started that last year. We're growing from 4 to 8 this year. And you have to have Fletcher's Corny Dogs, Heim Barbecue, of course, Buffalo Brothers and their great chicken wings, Salsa Leon. We're gonna have Dickey's Arena be a part of our food truck fairway. And that's a huge hit. You know, you can kind of sit under the trees, picnic table, kind of get outside of the traditional concession food, which our caterer does a nice job of, but when you can bring in some Fort Worth culinary and institutions from a restaurant perspective, then it's always good. Annika Sorenstam last year at Executive Women's Day celebrated her 20th year of playing Colonial. She played in 2003. Raise your hand if you were here in 2003 and saw that. Yeah, pretty amazing. She says it's one of the top 3 moments in her history, and she's won every major, played in every event, Solheim Cup. So that was pretty special to have Annika with us. This is an interesting one because I've been in Fort Worth, as Mike said, since 2008. And I really did not listen to the ticket till probably 3 years ago. I got hooked to the Musers driving in from Mansfield. And then all of a sudden, these guys are golfers. And I said, well, why don't you guys come be on site at Colonial all day Friday? And it was like a no-brainer. So they have been on the ground, the Musers, the Hardline, the ticket is with us on Friday, probably going to put them in the Patriots Outpost, but that, you know, George and Gordo and Craig Miller and Donovan and Corby. So the ticket is on site all day with us Friday, and I think it's a lot of fun to have those guys. And I mean, there are hardcore fans that travel to see these guys at various shows, Fan and Tree Farm, us, they'll be at the Byron Nelson. Good guys, love golf, speak highly of Fort Worth, and I think Corby went to TCU, if that's right. Yeah, I think he did. I can probably count on my hand the 3 other PGA Tour events, so there's 44 events on our schedule, and Fort Worth is one of them. I bet John Drago in Frisco, now that they've moved from Dallas down to South Dallas, back to Frisco, have a relationship with the mayor. And this started a long time ago with our committee, and it was Mike Moncrief, and then Betsy, and now Maddie Parker. And when you have a relationship in the mayor's office like we do, it just shows the importance of our event to the community. And Maddie's like, okay, let's go do a 2-hour tour, and then I'm gonna go have some fun with my husband. So, Mike Moncrief was a little different. He'd be like, okay, let's spend 5 hours out here. Let's tour the whole property, say hi to every sponsor. And it was fun because Mike went it a different way. And Betsy, she couldn't stop. She was stopping constantly. Maddie's like, okay, who are the 10 people I need to see? Let's spend time with them, and then I want to go have fun. So we have a lot of support from the mayor's office, and that's Casey Pipes back there in a plaid jacket who helps too. How are we doing for time? Okay, good. Yeah, perfect. As I mentioned, the flyover, again, Charles Schwab, and these are things that, that separate ourselves, I think, from other sporting events. That Huey got down low on Sunday, and your ribs were rattling when that thing came humming down 10 and up 13 and flew out of here. So we're looking to do something similar. Again, Memorial Day weekend, there's no other event probably in sports that if I'm about to hit my shot on 13, the air horn blows, we stop play, we do a moment of silence, and the helicopter flies over property, and then we resume play. Could you imagine stopping an NBA game or an NFL game or an NHL game? That's why golf is special. Our ties to Memorial Day weekend allow us to do that, and more importantly, Charles Schwab feels that this is a big part of what we do. Patriots Outpost, as I mentioned, active retired military, come enjoy the golf tournament, and views of 10 and 18. We have a number of supporters that help us offset that. Rainwater Foundation, Hillwood, Vermeer, some others, but really all the charitable contributions that come in that are earmarked for military go into the Patriots Outpost. Talked about the bag stuffing. Again, we have players that have military ties. We stuff 500 packages and then we ship them overseas. Really incredible fabric of our event. Mike Berry and Whit Perryman and then Rusty, they're a big part of what we do at the home donation. And so again, we raise dollars and donate homes back to the men and women of the military, which I think, again, not many events on the PGA Tour do that. The committee supports that, Charles Schwab supports that, and more importantly, we have corporate support that make that vision come true. Okay, this is a good one. We're gonna change focus a little bit here. Okay, no real reaction. I thought I'd get a little bit more reaction of the gun being checked at our gate in Texas, okay? So my tip to all of you as you come to the golf tournament, leave your guns at home, leave your knives at home. We don't want to check guns, but I thought that would get more of a chuckle than it did, but that's okay. There's two things you have to remember, and then I'll turn it back over to Kirk, is through 33 charities in Tarrant County, they generate $19 million around our golf tournament, and that's incredible work. And we could not do what we do without those 33 charities. Some are in the room. That deserves a round of applause, for sure. The last one is volunteerism. If you come to our golf tournament and you see volunteers in a blue shirt, as a Fort Worth resident, as a Colonial member, just say thank you. Some take volunteer time off, some take work time off, some travel in from countries, but at the end of the day, our 1,400 volunteers are really what makes it happen. So if you see volunteers when you're out there, be sure to say thank you. There you go. That's it. Ooh, yeah. Anybody have questions on our event, the state of golf, how to get involved? Oh, the two things, yes. Okay. I'm trying to go back here. I want to go back to the last, that one. We generate $19 million for charity, and then we couldn't do it without our volunteers. Those are the two things. Yeah. Yeah. And three things. Don't bring your guns. That's right. Don't bring your guns. Any other questions? Awesome. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. We are really looking forward to this. I love Colonial every year. It's a good time, and I'm been out there a lot on both sides of as both enjoying it and for work. So good stuff. Thank you for your program. So I don't know how much you know about Rotary, but Rotary, one of the big things that we do is we're fighting this fight against polio. Started in the mid-'80s. 250,000 people a year, new diagnosis every year worldwide, crippling, horrific disease. Last year, and I saw the numbers, last year there were actually 13, not 23, it was 13. This year so far we've had, it's been 5 weeks and we've had 3 reported cases. So there you go. We are this close truly to ending it. I say all that to tell you that in honor of you speaking today, our club has made a donation to the Rotary Polio Plus Fund. This is a memento of that.
Oh, gosh, thank you.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much.
Thank you.
All right. Got a couple of announcements. Don Click, where you at? Over. Get up here. While he's walking up here, International Committee meeting at the Rotary office, Suite 305 on the 3rd floor, immediately following this meeting. That's the elevators over by the Davy O'Brien suite. Go down there to the 3rd floor. You're up.
Well, got my purple shirt on, purple hat. TCU baseball team is 14-3 at home. I have some tickets here for a Rotary after hours on 27th. It's a 4 p.m. game. All the seats from first to third base are pre-sold for the whole season. So there's, outfield seats. And we will have a tailgate before about 3:15. So get your frog on. I got the tickets here, $10 a piece.
All right. Very good. Thank you. Hey, speaking of tickets, is anyone here free tonight and like country music? Raise your hand. Anyone? Mike, are you free tonight? I got 4 tickets to Billy Bob's to go see Cameron Marlowe. You want them? Does anyone want them? Seriously, they were given to me. No? Okay. Well, fair enough. All right. Final announcement next week. Next week, Rear Admiral David J. Finelli, Reserve Deputy Commander, Naval Air Force Atlantic. And with that, this meeting is adjourned. Have a great weekend.